I thought I'd just rattle off some thoughts which have to do with so meet this guy and he's got Spanish blood. So then I'm wondering, why does he look Middle Eastern? Because he's got Arab blood, right? Because the Spaniards were Arabs, and they were the conquistadors who went in and went into Central and South America. So then a lot of those people have some Arab blood, but he particularly looked, because he says he's more Spanish than he is like Central and South American. And so then I was thinking about how, like, talking about the man of sin being Muhammad in the 600s, and how there are things that even more so make me think of that being true, because I think of them, they have a very old culture, very old established culture, going back just centuries. Well, they're really about as old as the Jews, 5,000 some years, and for a long time, I know that they have just had the same religion as the Jews and a good relationship with them. And then along came Muhammad and turned them into enemies of the Jews, which is one of the reasons that I think he's the man of sin in Revelation. And but it's just that they have a culture that many years old. They're a people, their identity. And just think about people in the West, white people in the West. So, there's a couple of main groups that were pagan. One is Visigoth in Germany. The other is Celtic in the British Isles. And and then, really, like, the West, like Europe, was awfully dark, like, just with very little in terms of the inventions, schools, hospitals, all the things that eventually there were. And Rabbi Neusner cited that he thought Jesus was the main reason, and that's probably true, because a lot of that stuff happened after the Reformation. A lot of that stuff came into being after the Reformation. And so up until then, things were really dark. And then we have, so really, how many years? So we are people who have an identity before Christianity and after Christianity. And then there's plenty of people who actually resent Christianity for coming along and taking away what they had, which is because they love darkness. And I think in a way they just don't really know what it is they want, because I don't think they realize how much they would lose if they went back, but they want to go back because they resent Christianity for putting limits on them. They feel it puts limits on them. But this is one of the problems we're having. I think what I was trying to do is paint a picture of how, for us, white people, how short our history is from the Reformation and everything that changed then. And also, then along came America. And America was really, really an idealistic idea. It was really idealistic to start this nation. And I'm sure there were plenty of people in Europe, and even in America, who just were they're just so cynical, because hearts were so hard. I mean, people had gone through so much, and so much pain. Then I'm looking at this, and there, so just a very short history. I was only born 90 years or so after Lincoln was shot. We're a very young country. The point of it is that everything is still so new. We're still so young. There's still so much. Jesus says he came to destroy the works of the devil. We haven't done that enough, and everything is still just so new, and it is so, there's still so much to be done. America is so new, but I was saying about cynics that just that's because this or that, sure, it seems like it's going down, 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 because, that's what you just have to expect, because that's reality, because this is way too idealistic, this isn't going to be what you want it to be. And when they were trying to start it, there were probably all kind of people discouraging them. Oh, yeah, pie in the sky, a pipe dream, So, the point is that when you think about how short a time since Lincoln was shot, and how young a country we are, and so we're a young country, and just our development in the West is really not that for very long. And it's our development as with a Christian identity that we have a lot of people who just don't really want that identity, Yeah, and but the Arabs, really, I mean, the thing about them is their identity is so forged in faith because they are sons of Abraham, I mean, you just got to realize, there are people in the world who have a much, much older culture and a much more established identity than white people do. And that it could be where a lot of our trouble comes from, Then I was reading, and then I found this book about a black man who he had someone help him write the book when he was 103. He only learned how to read when he was 98. His last name is Dawson. Sounds like I haven't read the book yet. Sounds like a really cool book about his whole hard journey through the 20th century in America, And that's the thing about black people, their history since they got here and then started to transcend their the negativity of slavery is not that long either, and so there's still so far to go. We have so far to go yet, Yeah.